It's just I'm at the Helensburgh CND conference, and I've got two wonderful people here from the Peace Camp up at Faslane. Yeah, so I just thought I'd have a little word with them. It's been really fascinating listening to you today. So what are you hoping to achieve, and what help do you need at the Peace Camp?
So I guess, end goal is obviously multilateral nuclear disarmament. Whether or not that's all going to come about as a result of the efforts of the Peace Camp is probably quite unlikely. First and foremost, we exist just to exist as a public, constant, never-ending reminder that the people in Scotland and the people all over the world are opposed to nuclear weapons, and for us that is a case of living right on their doorstep and constantly banging on their door and constantly taking action against the base, trying to disrupt what's going on, raise awareness of the wider campaign against nuclear weapons.
We're the cog in the machine, I think.
Exactly. Be a spanner in the works.
The war machine, we're that little cog, we're that little bit that's constantly testing them and reminding them that we don't want that here and that we're not giving up, and we are continuing to spread awareness of not only nuclear weapons but the arms industry and the effects it have on people and the environment, especially given the climate emergency. And we are there to help spread the campaign, educate people, do workshops, and we need people to get involved.
And we're quite good at pointing out some flaws in their security as well.
Come make lock-ons and get arrested with us.
So exciting.
Oh, that's me.
So exciting. Independence Live.
We're live.
Well, Ellen, we're live. Maybe have a word with you in a little bit. That's okay. Independence Live live streamed down at Helensburgh before, so we've seen you all chained up and stuff.
Brilliant.
And I must say it was a great spectacle, but obviously seriousness behind it.
Oh, absolutely.
But you're looking for people to get involved, and it doesn't need to be like that, doesn't it? Stuff.
Yeah. We want people to get involved, to come to the camp, even just help site set, help us move some things, help us just in group projects and crafts. You don't have to get arrested. It's not always about direct action, but we are there to facilitate direct action and help people do it as safely as possible as well.
And even when you do take direct action, again, there's a million ways to do it without being arrested. One of the things that we are particularly trying to get on at the moment is really helping out Nuke Watch, tracking the convoys up and down the country. Obviously, Peace Camp is basically their last point of contact before they get into Coalport, so we're kind of Nuke Watch's last kind of point of call of figuring out when the convoys are coming in and out of Coalport. And with that, 90% of the time, unless you're planning to stop the convoy, you're not going to get arrested, but it is something that really, really helps the campaign. It's just to get them tracked, get them logged, and that's just a case of climbing a hill, watch out for a truck, send a text when you see it. And people can do that all over the country. People can do that in England, people can do that in Scotland, anywhere along the convoy route you can do that. When it comes to direct actions blockading the base, you can take a legal observation role, you can help us with live streaming, you can help us with getting press releases out, you can help us with the media. Again, there's a million ways to take part in the campaign and take part in actions without physically putting your body in danger or putting your body in the way.
We also have a vigil for peace, which is non-arrestable, for 1 hour every Wednesday, and it's been going on for over 30 years, and that is non-arrestable, and we're there as a continual presence while the shift change of the base is happening to say, look, we're here, we oppose what's going on in here, and you're complicit in what's happening here to facilitate those weapons being a threat.
I was quite shocked at local councils and investments.
Yeah.
And what? And tried it, but before I go down that path, right, how can people contact you if they want to participate and help?
We have a site mobile phone which you can find the number for on our Facebook. We have our Facebook which a few of us are all on, and you can turn up. We're there every day. There's always someone on site. Turn up, come and stay for a weekend, one night, cup of tea, come break some bread with us, or just send us a Facebook message and say, hey, we're happy you're there.
We like visits the best. Just come and see us. But if it's too far, we have an email and we have a telephone number which are both available on the social media, but realistically probably the fastest way to actually get a hold of one of us directly, send us a wee message on the Facebook page.
We do have an address as well, but we use the postcode for the base and we're neighbour. But we do receive posts, so if you want to send us a little postcard or whatever, a wee letter, whatever, we take posts too.
It's really a great thing, isn't it, that support, knowing that there's support there. It does give you a boost, doesn't it?
You sometimes feel like you're fighting this big, huge capitalist war machine, this big society with the climate emergency, all these things that can get really daunting, and then you're like, oh my god, I want to give up. And then somebody goes back and goes, toot, toot, toot on the way by, and they're like, hey, you're great. And we're like, do you know what, actually, I'm on the right side of history, we're doing what's right, and we're trying, and if everyone tries, it makes a big difference.
You're doing your bit. I would like to tell people the Twitter address doesn't work, does it? Because I've tried to contact you.
Don't try and get us on Twitter. We don't have the login. I didn't even realise we had one.
I've not even got Twitter.
I didn't
Someone
know we had
made it
one.
a long
Someone's
time
made
ago,
it, yeah.
and none of us used it.
Should get one.
We should try and get rid of it.
Because
Yeah.
it's so like if we're doing events and live streams down there, tweet them.
You'll need to come in a live stream. We're next direct action.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. As soon as you mention live stream, I'm like, oh yeah.
No, that's fine. We get creative with these ideas. So next time we're getting arrested, I'll send you a message.
Please do. We did a really big live stream down there with multiple people live streaming, and it was RT, one of their sister companies, wanted to buy all the Faslane live streams off us. I'm like, no, but you can use them for free, but no, you're not buying them.
Yeah.
So folks, this is hugely important because it seems to me it's been kind of forgotten a bit.
It sometimes does.
The anti-nuclear stuff, but it's not. It's still ongoing, and it'll still be ongoing until it's closed. We've got nuclear weapons, no problem.
I think people make the mistake of, because it's tucked up in this little lock that's out the way, out of sight, out of mind, let's not talk about it, there's Brexit happening, there's this happening, but it's not, it's still there, they're still on the roads, they're still moving the warheads on the convoy, it's still going up and down our streets, they're still a threat to everyone, they're not going anywhere, and neither should we.
And I think it's unbelievably relevant to obviously everything that's going on in Perth today. It is such a strong argument for independence, and independence is such a strong part of our campaign. Without getting too insanely patriotic about it, the Westminster's excuse, any time it gets proposed about moving it somewhere else, they talk about the collateral damage of the lives lost if there were to be an accident. And I don't think there's ever been a site. The lives of Scottish people are okay as collateral damage. Yeah, I don't think there's ever been a site that's been proposed where the number of people that would be affected is higher than it currently is in Scotland. I think the vast majority of the people you're looking at, maybe 100,000 people, whereas in Scotland you're talking about the entire Central Belt. And given the fact that 95% of the people that live in Scotland live in the area that would be affected, you are essentially talking about justifying a genocide by having this accident at Faslane or whatever it is. And not to mention, it makes us a target. It makes us such a target. I mean, when we talk about deterrence and we talk about the best ways, when the military have these discussions, they're talking about ways to strategically take out the opponent's nuclear weapons so that they can't fire back. That's the whole issue with deterrence. So realistically, any talk of Westminster being a target for London, being a target for a nuclear attack, it's just not the case. They're going to come to Faslane first, and actually it's the Scottish people who are going to be on the front lines. It's our lives that are collateral damage. We've consistently voted for politicians and for principles and for theories that don't support nuclear weapons, consistently, time and time again, and we have consistently had our voice ignored in Westminster, and I think this is a really big part of what's kind of leading the people to kind of understand that we are being oppressed in ways that are maybe not quite so obvious, and it's time to take a stand against it.
The only way we're going to get rid of these nuclear weapons realistically, right, politically, is via Scottish independence, isn't it? Because you can't see Boris Johnson or the rest.
I don't think so.
No, I somehow don't see Trump, the moron that he is, going, do you know what? Let's not do that. That idiot wants to nuke hurricanes. That man can't be left to make decisions.
That's a pathological lie.
Oh, he's a
But it is a political thing in general. I mean, we hold up these nations like South Africa as being, brilliant examples of countries that have given up their nuclear weapons. I mean, let's not forget, pretty much the only reason that South Africa gave up its nuclear weapons is because it didn't want Nelson Mandela to have control of them. So I think there's a strong argument to make that realistically, once a country has nuclear weapons, once they're in this political system, once they've had their head filled with this idea of status and stuff as a nation, they're not going to be getting rid of them. It really is up to the people that are going to be affected by it, to be pushing and pressuring the governments into doing something about it, because they're not going to get there on their own.
Do you know, I've said this quite a few times in 2014. In fact, we were down doing that big live stream down at Faslane, going past those buildings, the tall buildings that are in the base.
Yeah, those are
the accommodation.
They were building them.
Yeah.
2014, and I'm thinking, do they know something we don't?
They didn't hold the vote on whether or not to expand the base and have all of this stuff until the spring of 2016, and it was 2 years before they'd already funded it, started building it, and you're going, why are you even bothering having this vote when it was decided 2 years ago? And it's this democracy, it can be very easy to get completely disillusioned and disenfranchised in the whole system and just go, you know what, screw it, screw all the politicians. I just want to go down to the base and just lie down in the road and just put my body in the way.
Because you feel like sometimes your voice in Scotland is not being listened to at all. And sometimes the only thing you can do is like, look, well, do you know what? We're going to shut you down for a day. If it means you can't deploy those subs, it means you can't. That means those weapons aren't going out. And if it takes me chaining myself to another person and lying on that road and being arrested, then so be it. I would rather that and be able to sleep at night knowing at least I'd stopped something for one day. I stopped that happening. That base was ceasing to function.
No problem.
Brilliant, really inspiring.
Oh, thank you.
Very inspiring.
Really brilliant.
Cheers.
Thank you. Take care of yourself. Bye.
So,
What a great day.
we should all be thinking about going home now, shouldn't we?
I think so.
So I'll just say, like, join CND, right? Scottish CND. It's bomb the. Is it Red's not bottom?
Don't bank on the bomb.
Yeah.
Very important.
Yep.
So
Join CND. Don't bank on the bomb. Look out for the convoy. Keep up to date with the Faslane Peace Camp page and
Peace Camp.
Peace Camp. Faslane Peace Camp. Visit.
Website.
We've got we're primarily social media at the moment. Right now, I mean, realistically, that's what people are engaging with. That's what people are on. Get us on Facebook. It's by far the easiest. We've got very limited power and electricity at the camp. It's so much easier to just have one platform.
in Scotland. Come on.
The solar power going and the windmill.
We need to get ourselves a wind turbine.
Yeah, that'd be quite handy.
Try and harness the rain. Start getting pressure
my
pads.
God, yeah.
But for now, we're all on solar. It's fine in the summer, but in winter, just come visit us because there's probably not going to be any power.
It gets dark and it's a bit lonely. Come have tea and eat our
We don't bite.
fresh
We're
bread.
honestly, we're really friendly and
we're the big scary anarchists.
Normal people at Peace Camp. Okay, folks, listen, it's been a wonderful day. All under one banner.
Thanks for taking the time.
Thank you.
Great.
Solidarity with the Indie March in Perth. Fight the power.
Absolutely. And Edinburgh's the next big one, I think.
Oh, brilliant.
So I think that's the end of the season. Edinburgh. Okay, folks. So I've got to say goodbye now, right? Okay.
No pass it on.
Nay pass around.
I'm trying to figure out how to switch this off. Nay pass it on. Go for it. Peace, love, and Scottish independence.